Hi, everyone. This is Jackie Pack from Healing Paths, also the host of Thanks for Sharing, a podcast. And I wanted to share with you what is coming up on the next podcast episode. So this podcast episode will release tomorrow, and you can find the link for that in this recording, and that will take you to our YouTube channel. You can also go to most podcast apps and search for Thanks for Sharing and find the podcast there. So often on different podcast episodes, I have talked about betrayal trauma. And often I talk about betrayal trauma as it relates to infidelity, as it relates to partners of sex addicts, as it relates to possibly childhood trauma. And on this episode, I talk about it in a little bit different way. So we talk about betrayal trauma, but there's also a term called betrayal blindness. And that's what this podcast episode is about. I pull a lot from the work of Dr. Jennifer Freyd, who coined the term. So let me tell you just a little bit about Jennifer. Dr. Jennifer Freyd is a professor in the psychology department at the University of Oregon. And like I said, betrayal blindness, that term was coined by her in 1996 in her book, Betrayal Trauma, The Logic of Forgetting Childhood Abuse. And then she had another book that was released in 2013 called Blind to Betrayal, Why We Fool Ourselves That We Aren't Being Fooled. So the term betrayal blindness stemmed from her research on childhood abuse, and then she expanded it to other areas of relational betrayal trauma, one of which was infidelity, but that's not the only thing she was looking at. And I like that she casts a wide net when she's talking about betrayal blindness. Dr. Freyd talks about in her research that she was intrigued when she found story after story of infidelity where everyone seemed to know the partner was cheating except for the spouse. Betrayal blindness means not seeing what is there to be seen. Now, in many ways, it's not really hidden from us, but our nervous system, our psyche, our threat system will hide these things from us because knowing them calls us to action. And if we're not able to act on this, if we're a child and we're not able to remove ourselves from the situation, if we're financially dependent on a spouse and leaving that relationship seems to cause a lot of uncertainty and distress, we can be blind to those circumstances. If we're not able to take action, then what's the point of knowing, right? She talks about when the people or institutions on which a person depends for survival significantly violate a person's trust or well-being, it's a deception that is not fully recognized because, as she says, attachment trumps betrayal detection. And because attachment trumps betrayal detection, meaning that our human need to attach in our close relationships is more vital to us, or it's a higher priority to us as humans than detecting betrayal within those very relationships. She says, trusting relationships are the basis for personal well-being and growth, for intimate and loving partner and friend relationships, and for justice and peace at the societal and international level. However, at all of these levels, betrayal is ubiquitous. It harms us on a personal level. It destroys relationships and the ability to trust, and it finds its way into national and international relationships. And it's often been the cause for wars. Logically, it seems that when we are betrayed, we confront the situation, deal with the betrayal, and we go on with our lives. But it's not always that simple. Either the relationship is too important to us, or we're not strong enough within ourselves to deal with the betrayal. So again, if you want to hear the full podcast episode, you can check it out on the podcast apps in which you listen to podcasts, or you can follow the link on this video to our YouTube channel and watch the full podcast in video. Thank you.